even tell you that.
Oh, I see it. Okay, okay. Hey, Tiffany, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I just had a really stressful day at work,
Yeah.
so kind of dealing with that.
Okay. Well, just kind of fill me in on how you've been doing, what your life's been looking like since we last met.
Yeah, my boyfriend, he and I have been fighting a lot this past couple of weeks. Um, and yesterday he yelled at me because I didn't cook dinner for him when I got home, and I didn't bring anything home either. So that really upset me, because I had just worked 8 hours that day and I had went to class too. So it was just really stressful for me. And his mom blamed me too. So she kind of took his side, and so I just kind of felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to about it.
Yeah, that's definitely doesn't sound like a fun time. Tell me a little bit, what else happened? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about dropping out of school. My boyfriend wants me to do that soon, but I don't know. I kind of think I should at least finish out the semester just because I've already paid for it, so I might as well finish, but he doesn't want me to do that. He wants me to get another job to help pay bills.
Okay. And do you enjoy school? Are you liking what you're doing?
I do. I really do like school. I'd like to stay, but I don't know if I can. I like what I'm studying, so
What are you studying?
I am studying geology. I really like rocks.
You like rocks. Okay. What sparked your interest in that?
My mom and dad and I used to collect rocks as a kid, and then in high school I got really into science, and so I just decided that I would, go to school to study rocks and be a scientist one day. But like I said, I just don't think I can continue since he doesn't really like that.
Okay. Well, he might not like it, but it sounds like you really enjoy it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your thought process into what it would look like if you did drop out of school.
I mean, if I dropped out, I could probably pick up a shift, more shifts, and then I could start a second job like serving or something. We're just really struggling with money, and he's not working, and his mom works and she pays a lot of the bills, but she doesn't like I pay for his car and our phones and my car and all the stuff that we go out and do, and so it just is like a lot, and so I would probably get a second job if I dropped out. Because I would have all the extra time. And then he also thinks I don't spend enough time with him, so I'd probably spend more time with him too.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like you're taking on a really intense load in terms of the financial responsibility and then also that of trying to be a good girlfriend in the process. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I'd say so, but he's really struggling right now with his like mental health. I know he's like depressed, and sometimes when we're angry or we're fighting, he threatens to like kill himself, and I'm just like really worried about him, and so I don't want to stress him out anymore. I want to make things easy for him so that he can, be healthy and happy.
That's important. And it's great to hear that you care about his well being. But we also need to make sure that you're being taken care of. And you are both well, you're physically well and mentally well, and everything that goes into that. I think that there has to be a balance somewhere. So, like I was saying, it sounds like you've taken on a pretty big caretaking role. Do you feel as if you are being taken care of in an adequate way?
No, I don't think he does the same things for me that I do for him. But when I bring it up with him, he tells me that I should just be grateful that someone wants to be in a relationship with me. And I don't really have family, a close family. And so it's just, I don't really have anyone to like reach out to like, lean on. So that can be hard sometimes for sure.
Yeah. So when he says that you should just feel lucky to have someone, what does that make you feel?
It makes me feel sad that he doesn't want to be that, like, be more for me. But, we've been together a long time, so maybe just like the spark has died out.
Okay. What else?
Like I think he might be seeing somebody else sometimes, but because he's always like texting on his phone late at night and in the bed, and he doesn't like it if I like grab his phone to check the time or something. He doesn't like that at all, and he yells at me when I do that. So I try not to, but sometimes his phone's just closer than mine. Like I don't want to go through his stuff or invade his privacy. It's just sometimes it's just more convenient. And so he really gets mad at me when I do things like that. So it makes me think he might be talking to someone else.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. What does that bring up for you?
It makes me feel really hurt because I feel like I'm, going out and doing all these things for the family and for us so that we can have a good future. And, I'm sacrificing a lot of things for him and he's just not doing the same. I'm like, I'm might drop out of school for him and I might, be doing all these other things and he just doesn't seem to appreciate me.
Yeah, so I can understand why that would bring up a lot of hurt for you, and his demanding of this privacy. Let me ask you this question. In your relationship, what does the balance look like? Is it equal responsibility? Do you feel that you treat each other in respectively the same ways?
Um, I feel like it's like 80-20. Like I think I definitely do a lot more for him than he does for me. But like I said, I feel like he's like really struggling and I don't want to put pressure on him when he's having a hard time. Um, but I also, I think I'm having a hard time too sometimes and he doesn't seem to care about that.
Yeah. So when you're saying he's having a hard time and that's preventing him from working and really investing in the relationship, what does that mean?
Like I said, he sometimes he's just really depressed all the time and he's moody. And then, like I said, when we fight and he's really angry at me, he threatens to kill himself and like blames me for all his like depressed like feelings of depression. And like that's hard because I'm trying to be there for him, and I guess I'm just not being there for him in the way that he wants me to be.
Yeah. Um, so let me ask you another question. It sounds like there's obviously some dysfunction happening. Would you agree with that?
Yes, for sure. I would agree with that.
Um, what does your ideal relationship look like?
I would like someone who likes to spend time with me and doesn't get upset with me when I ask to do things I enjoy. Like sometimes I'll ask him to go out to dinner with me or to go do something and he acts like it's a burden. And then in the next minute he'll ask me for money to go out with his friends. And so I would just would like someone who wants to spend time with me and like enjoys being with me. But then at the same time, like when I say that to him, he says it's because I'm not a good enough girlfriend. And so I think that maybe if I were just being better, that he would be that way.
So let's stick with this for just a second because I'm noticing that as you're going into things that you want, you're automatically reverting to thinking about what he wants. And we can cover that here in a little bit, but for right now, I really want to hear what you want, what you would find in an ideal partner for yourself.
Yeah, I wish that he had a job. I think that's a big one for me because I'm working so much and
Yeah.
it would just be a little less stress on my shoulders if I didn't have to worry about going to work, 6 or 7 days a week so that we have money to pay our bills and do things. And, I would like to be progressing in a relationship. I mean, we've been together for 5 years and like he hasn't talked about marriage. He hasn't talked about moving out of his mom's house or like our future plans. Um, and so I think that's important to me. I'd like to have a family someday. And so I want someone who shares my goals and values with me.
Yeah. Okay. Now, are those qualities and traits that you can see your current relationship growing into?
I feel like he has the potential to do it. I don't think he wants to do it for me sometimes. I think sometimes he just takes advantage of me and all the things I do for him and is kind of waiting for someone better to come along and so that he can like leave me and for that better person.
Okay. What does that make you feel to kind of to almost feel like a stepping stone? What is that like for you?
Yeah, I mean it kind of sucks, but that's why I'm like really trying to be better for him so that he doesn't, leave me for somebody else. But like I said, I think he has kind of started talking to someone new, which really frustrates me because I'm always gone. I know I'm always gone because I'm working, but it's and going to school, but I'm doing those things for us, and so it's really frustrating that like he doesn't seem to understand that.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to take just a second here. We're talking about some pretty weighty things. And I just want you to kind of tell me what you're feeling in the moment, whether it be physically, emotionally, what's going through your head right now.
Honestly, it feels like talking to you, I'm like getting a weight off my chest. So it feels good to have someone to talk to about these kinds of things.
Okay, what else?
Um, it feels, it makes me feel sad sometimes. Like talking about my relationship kind of makes me feel really sad and kind of brings me down. I don't like to talk about it because I don't like that it's in a negative place and like that really hurts because this is someone I've invested a lot of time with and I kind of feel like, he's over 10 years older than me. He should be in a better place than he is. And I shouldn't have to be, carrying the lion's share of our responsibilities.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me a little bit physically, like as we're talking about these things, what are you noticing about your body? Are you feeling any tension? Is it feeling almost kind of relieving? What's going on?
Yeah, I would say like it's kind of as it is. I do kind of feel like relieved, like I am kind of relaxed, but then at the same time, like it does kind of make me a little anxious, and I can feel like I kind of feel a little fidgety talking about it. So I think it's like a little mixture of those two things.
Yeah, so it makes sense that you would be feeling some tension because of that, and I'm very glad to hear that at least talking about this is helping to alleviate some of that. Okay. Are you ready to get back into some of these questions?
Yes.
Okay. So we talked about what it kind of looks like, what you want your ideal relationship to look like. So let's talk about some of your current relationships outside of your boyfriend and including him. So when you're thinking about these relationships that you have, whether it be with your boyfriend, with your family, or your friends, what kind of emotions do you attach to each of those relationships? Are they different? Are they the same?
Yeah, I really like spending time with my best friend and I'm happy when I'm with her, but he doesn't like us hanging out, so it kind of makes me upset that I can't see her as much as I'd like. Um, she invites me out a lot and I always have to say no because he doesn't like me going out to like clubs or bars or anything because he thinks that I'm gonna go home with another person. So I just don't see her a lot, but I love her very much and she's a great person and in fact, she always tells me I should leave him.
Okay. Yeah, so I heard that you say you feel like you have to say no when she invites you to come out. And I know that we've talked about your boyfriend doesn't necessarily like this friend. Um, what makes you say that you have to say no?
I just know that he doesn't like when I do those things, and I don't want to cause a fight. And so it's just easier for me to say no than to ask him if I could go, if that makes sense.
Do you think that there is a measure of trust between your boyfriend and yourself? Does he trust you? Do you trust him?
I don't think he trusts me at all. I think he's worried about, what I'm doing a lot. And I think maybe that makes me distrustful of him because if he's really, really concerned about what I'm doing, that makes me think I should be really concerned about what he's doing.
Yeah. Something is really wrong with this. Um,
You are so good.
okay. Okay, so we've got about half of our session left at this point. So what I want to move into now, if you're okay with it, is work towards some goal setting. Therapy is really great, but if you don't have something that you're working towards, sometimes can become a little bit circular. And we want to make sure that if you have goals, that we're making strides towards reaching those. Are you okay with doing that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So going back to your client intake form that we went over the last time, you mentioned that your reason for wanting to do therapy was to better yourself so that your boyfriend won't leave you. And you've reiterated that several times, even in this session. So I do want to clarify and say again that you are my client. And if we're working towards your relationship, there's two people in that relationship. So I would highly suggest that maybe you talk with your boyfriend and see if he would be willing to coming to some of these sessions or doing some individual ones and then working into a group setting. That way, this relationship can be attacked, so to speak, from both points, and we can see towards what can be made better as a couple and what can be made better as individuals. Does that sound like something you might be willing to try?
Yeah, I'll definitely bring it up with him. I'll see what he says for sure.
Well, we can all we can do is try. But for right now, let's talk a little bit about some goals that you have. They can be big or we can break them down into smaller ones. But for now, I want to pick three just so we can keep it in sizable little chunks that we can use in an effective manner. So kind of tell me, what are some goals that you have for you? I know it's a big question, but you're free to answer how you'd like.
Um, I think that I would like to be better at speaking up for myself and the things that I want. I don't think I'm very confident in myself, and so I think that I need to learn to better communicate my wants and needs to not just my boyfriend, but to other people as well. I think I need to really work on my communication.
Yeah. So, what are some practical steps that we can take to get better at speaking up for ourselves and developing that confidence?
I think that maybe I could start, voicing my concerns to my boyfriend more. Um, I I just sometimes I'm afraid, that he's gonna get really angry and it'll escalate, and that's why I kind of like take a step back from saying those things to him. But I think that I should do it more instead of just assuming he's gonna be angry about it, because maybe he won't be angry about it this time. Just because he's been angry about something in the past doesn't mean, that he'll continue to be angry.
So, going on this tangent here, when he kind of interrupts you and says, "Why are you complaining? Like, why are you speaking up about this?" and basically kind of puts you down, what does that bring up?
You know, it's just, again, it just makes me really frustrated because I feel like I'm just trying to tell him some concerns I have, and the only concerns he seems to care about are his own. And so he can tell me all the time, oh, that I don't dress right, or I'm not wearing makeup and I don't look good today. But I can't tell him that, I want to go out with my best friend for a night because I'm so stressed out. I just like need to have some, free time.
Yeah.
And
So,
so that frustrates me.
yeah, so we're saying that he's telling you you can't do these things, and like, why would you want to do those things, and kind of putting you down. It almost sounds like the frustration is stemming from a feeling of disrespect. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, and I know he doesn't think that women are like equal to him, and so I think that might have something to do with it. He's made that clear from the get-go, and so I think he doesn't respect me as like he might respect somebody else. But yeah, I really don't feel respected in this relationship.
Okay. Um, that's a pretty weighty thing to come to terms with. What is that bringing up right now?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't really want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't respect me, but at the same time, we've been in it for so long that like I feel bad walking away because like I invested all this time into it. And I also don't want him to hurt himself if I leave. And so it's just a stressful situation. And I do care about him too. And so that's hard as well.
Yeah, you've been in a relationship for 5 years. It'd be pretty natural to have developed some attachments to that person. You're saying that he's threatened to suicide on multiple occasions now when you talk about leaving or doing anything like that. Has he struggled with thoughts like that even before your relationship?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm not really sure because he doesn't like to talk about it a lot with me. So, but I think he did, yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like he could definitely use someone to talk to as well in terms of a professional. But it is important that you understand that you are not responsible for other people's actions. And as callous as that might be to hear or to say, what I'm basically getting at is you can only do so much. You can do as much as you humanly can to show him love and affection and that he matters. But ultimately, his decisions and his choices are his own. Um, is that something that we can maybe work towards accepting?
Yeah, I think so. I really do need to work on being my own person, and it's just hard when you're always with somebody. But I know logically, I know like his problems are not my own, but it's just hard to separate like that knowledge from like my feelings for him because I want to help him as much as I can, but I just don't seem to be the person who can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is great stuff. Let's keep moving on with these goals. So we've said, and we want to work on speaking up for ourselves and working on that confidence, voicing concerns, all of that. What's another goal that you think we can be working towards?
I think I would like to find a better job. Um, one that I don't have to work so many hours and maybe make a little bit more money, just so maybe I don't have to get a second job to help pay the bills. I think that that would be good for me and take a lot of stress off my plate. But it's just kind of hard to get a job with my schedule, with school. So I think I could work towards that.
And maybe that's something you can bring up with your boyfriend is if you continue with school and you get a degree, it could open doors in the future for a better paying job with better hours.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, what's one more goal that we can talk about today and the time we have remaining in our session that we can be making steps towards?
Um, this kind of goes back to the first one of communication, but I would really like to talk to my boyfriend about staying in school. I really don't want to drop out. I know he really wants me to, and if he really wants me to, I will, but I would rather not if I didn't have to. And so I think I would like to, you know, communicate that to him in an effective way so that I can stay in school and, pursue my degree.
Yeah. So you really want to stay in school. You're really enjoying it, and it can open a lot of doors for you. Going back to being your own person, even it's something that you enjoy to do. So when your boyfriend wants you to drop out of school, is his main reasoning just because he would like you to be working more?
Well, that and that he doesn't think I spend enough time with him, and he thinks that I'm always tired when I um get home from work. And so I know that he just wants me to be there more for him and, do more of the cooking and the cleaning. And it's like I do cook and I do clean, but he doesn't always like how much I cook or what I cook and, how I clean. But I don't always have the most time to like do those in maybe the most effective way.
Yeah. So I would encourage you to think about the fact that even dropping out of school and getting a second job isn't necessarily going to fix the time spent together problem that he's been bringing up. So maybe that's something that you can bring up to him as well in those conversations going forward about this, because these are both very important things that you have in your life right now. Your boyfriend and a relationship that you highly value, and then also your education, which also sounds like it's pretty important to you. Um, so it's definitely good to work on those open lines of communication and just reiterating that this is something that's important for you, and that also staying in school can open up a lot of opportunities for you later on.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think he realizes that.
Yeah. And maybe that's something that he just hasn't thought of and that you can bring up in those conversations.
Yeah, for sure. I think I could do that when we talk next.
Yeah. All right. So we've got about 5 minutes left in our session. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or any questions that you have for me?
I don't think I have anything this time, but thank you for talking to me. It was really helpful.
Yeah, it was great. So what I'm going to do is based on those goals that you sent me is I'm going to generate a document. Basically, it's just a written sheet of paper and that's going to have those goals listed out, because when you write your goals out, you're more likely to follow through with them. So you'll have a copy and I will have a copy, and that's just something that we can refer back to going forward in our sessions and seeing what kind of progress you're making towards meeting those goals. Does that sound something that you'd be okay with?
That sounds perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, if you don't have any questions for me, we're going to go ahead and end the session here, give you a chance to reflect on what's been going on. If you need anything, feel free to email me and I will get back to you when I can. But other than that, I will see you at our next session, okay?
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye bye.